Few cars have enjoyed success like the Range Rover Evoque. The baby of the Range Rover family was an instant hit since going on sale here in 2011. And this is the latest iteration, a mild update to a hugely successful formula. Not that it's radically different, the basic shape remains and all the panels are unchanged, but there's a new front bumper, revised lights and larger air intakes. And inside too, there are various changes, including a new 8-inch colour touchscreen, among other colour and trim changes. But again, current owners aren't going to think the Range Rover world has gone mad. But it's under that snub-nosed bonnet that the biggest change has taken place. There's a new engine. Gone is the old 2.2 litre engine that was actually sourced by Ford, and in is an all-new 2 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel. It's designed in-house by Land Rover. Now, it'll be used across a range of models, including some from sister company Jaguar. So what's it like then? Well, it's not the game changer I was expecting, and the first giveaway of that are the figures. Power has actually dropped slightly, and I'm in the most powerful version of this new diesel that you can get. So it's gone from 140 kilowatts to 132. Now torque has gone the other way. It's actually up 10 Newton meters, but that's only 2%. Although thankfully that torque is produced slightly lower in the rev range at 1500 revs. So outright performance isn't changed a whole lot. There's still that generous dollop of torque low down in the rev range. And if you mash your right foot, it accelerates pretty smartly. It'll get to 100 kilometres an hour in 9 seconds flat. Plus, it's impressively refined, smooth and fairly quiet. It actually does a really nice job of keeping occupants shielded from everything going on out there. But in other areas, it's a letdown. So turbo lag, for example, is frustrating in stop-start traffic. I'll show you what I mean. If we pull up, complete stop, press the accelerator, nothing, then you've got some grunt. So there's that second or two of hesitation, and it means when you are jumping out of an intersection or something like that, you've just got to think ahead for manoeuvres like that. Thankfully, the 9-speed auto generally helps, although it can be pretty busy shuffling between gears, but at least it's smooth in the way it does it. Elsewhere, the Evoque is unchanged in the way it drives. So the suspension, for example, is still fairly taut, but in a good way. It actually controls body roll quite nicely, so if you find a good set of corners, it sits the car pretty well, and it also recovers well from bumps. And if you listen carefully, you can hear some booming from the suspension, particularly the rear suspension as it goes about its business. Still, there's lots to love about the Evoque. It is surprisingly fun to drive for a mid-sized SUV, and there's plenty of grip through the corners on these tyres. That is one advantage of getting the big wheels and tyres. Plus, if you're one of those strange people who actually does like taking their Range Rover off-road, it's got some pretty tricky software to help you get further and do it a bit more easily. Plus, it is vaguely practical. You've got decent space and decent storage up front. Now, Range Rover still does the coupe version, as they call it, or the 3-door, but really it's this 5-door one that makes more sense. Even then though, you're not talking limousine space back there. It's more for shorter distances or for kids who will at least be well behaved and keep the leather looking like that. Plus, value has taken a step forward, so you get a bunch more features, including things like rain sensing wipers and auto headlights. And active safety too has taken a step in the right direction. So various features available, including auto emergency braking, which is standard on every model. Plus, there's this. A tailgate that opens with the swipe of a foot. It's pretty handy stuff if you've got your hands full of luggage or shopping or whatever else. But look, value in the Evoque, it is a relative term. It ain't cheap. This one amidst the HSE, it's the best part of 75 grand. And you can easily chuck 10 grand or more of options on top of that. So high fashion with some compromises.